Hello, welcome everyone to the next lecture of data analytics using Excel. I'm really happy with how the entire flow is going on with all of you. For the next four lectures, or let's say 4 or 5 lectures that we'll be having, it will be like a project. So I will explain what we are, trying to achieve and how we're going to achieve in multiple steps. We'll be using softwares which go beyond Microsoft Excel. We'll be actually using Google Finance, and instead of teaching you macros towards the end, I'll be teaching you now so that you know how you can be very, very efficient and how easy it is to use macros in the first place. We'll be covering if statements, lookup function, and charting as well. And then we'll directly dive into create more dynamic charts using pivot charts. This is how the entire flow of lectures will be like. So for this lecture that I'm going to teach you, I believe you should just look at the entire lecture first and then go around in your Google Finance or let's say Google Sheets and then work around with Google Finance codes. And then only you'll be able to understand a lot better of what exactly is happening and how to actually execute the codes. Although for the next lectures, after this lectures, whatever I will teach, try to do everything with me, and if you have any doubt, you just need to rewind it and see what exactly is there where you're going wrong. Because I've seen a lot of students will actually write the codes a little, let's say, wrong or whatever it might be. When I say code, it's just a function. So let's just dive into it. So if you can see my screen, this is my Google Chrome that I've opened up. The first thing that I need to do is open Google Sheets. Google Sheets. And here it is. I will name it, let's say, lecture on Google Finance. Okay. So what we are essentially trying to do is to get financial data of companies we really want to. For this, this particular example, I'll be taking Indian equity market only. Though you can try the same with other instruments as well. So the first thing that I would like for everyone to see is this. NSE Reliance. Yep. So Reliance Industries is a particular company which is having the highest market capitalization in India as of now, that is 18 lakh crore. And this is the historical chart of prices for Reliance Industries. There are a couple of things which I want you to know. This is known as the name of the company. This is known as the logo of the company. This is known as the ticker of the company. This signifies that this particular stock is listed in National Stock Exchange, that is NSE, and the name of the ticker is actually Reliance. Now it might happen that a weird name is sometimes given to the stocks. Let's say you have let's say ICICI, right? You can see ICICI Bank is having a very simplistic name here as well, right? But for sometimes the name might be different. Let's say Rushil Decor, and you can see now only Rushil is written, right? So that is one that you need to identify. And you need to always have the ticker when you're searching for a particular company's data and not the name of the company. Now, this being said, what you actually essentially need to do, let's say I'm going to take NSE or Rushil, or let's say NSE Reliance. You need to take this ticker as input. Whenever you want financial information using Google Finance, the first thing that you need to have with you is, NSE Reliance in the first place. If you do not have NSE Reliance, then it's going to be a little haywire for you, right? So second thing that you need to know is how to use the code of Google Finance, right? So just keep on looking at this formula bar or whatever I'll be writing. So what I want to do for this lecture is I really want to get Google Finance data of this particular company. And if I'm going to click on Google Finance and then start my brackets, I'm giving the particular function. You can see the first argument which is being asked is the ticker. Second argument is the attribute, then the start date, end date, and interval. Now, as we'll move along, we'll be executing the same code with a lot of companies, and I'll be teaching you something known as anchoring and making the sheets dynamic. That will come in the later chapter. In this particular lecture, we'll be working on how to use Google Finance in the first place. So for ticker, I want to get information about the ticker which is mentioned in C2, and then I want, let's say, closing price. So I will write close, and let's say start date be today. Function will actually give me today's date, and I will go 10 days back using -10. and I can also use today again to give me the end date, and I want the daily price to be available to me. Now, if I'm going to click on question mark, C2, that is a ticker which is in cell C2. Then I have what do I really want to have, and what is the starting date, what is the end date, and what is the frequency. Do I want data monthly, weekly, yearly, daily, quarterly, whatever it might be, right? So we click on enter here, and you can see we have a hashtag NA here. So it is telling me that the query for the symbol NSC colon space Reliance return no data. We know for a fact that cannot happen. What problem that we are facing right now is the space, right? So this one thing that you need to identify. You cannot always copy tickers from here and just copy paste here and just say that okay, I'm going to get all the information. The critical point is there is a particular format in which you should write all the information. And now you have the data in front of you. Now what essentially I did here is I removed the space after the colons, right? And you need to always remember the particular format in which I'm going to give this information. So I'm asking Google to use Google Finance as a tool in the first place, and actually search in NSC, National Stock Exchange, and under National Stock Exchange search for the company Reliance, right? And then give me the closing price, then give me last 10 days price, and I want daily, the frequency to be daily. Now one thing that you might want to do is, let's say you want to get data of the last 1 year, the closing price of the last 1 year. You will get it right away. All you have to do is just change the code which is being written here, minus 365, that's all. Now above this, there are a couple of things that you might have to remember. Most of the time we do not give information like that, like we actually write today minus 365 or whatever. We actually write the exact dates, right? So you need to see what particular format is being followed in your date bar. For me it is month, date and year. For you, when I'm actually executing a particular code, even after this lecture, it might be date, month and year. So you need to check here what information is being followed with you, and then only you will be able to get exact information of how exactly you need to enter the code in the first place. And if that's not the case, then you might not be able to execute it correctly. To give you an example of what exactly I mean, so let's say I want data for, let's say, 7th month, 15th date of 2023, and then I want, let's say, today. I've taken some random date in history, right? Now instead of actually writing this code here inside, I'm actually going to give reference to this cell, that please take the date from this cell and then this, and I'm click on enter, and you can see I got all the information from 7/17/2023. So, and it is the closing price, that's why 330. Now one thing that you need to notice here is whenever we actually get Google Finance, we always get a date, time in one column, and then we also get the closing price, right? And this is something that you need to take care of when we are getting data of all the companies, because let's say I'm having Reliance here and TCS here, I need to separate them by one column, and I cannot always do it manually. So we'll be learning how we can use a trick, or let's say use some of the functions to make the things work for us. Second thing, let's try to actually write the date in an opposite manner. Instead of writing 7/15/2023, let's write 15/7/2023, and you will see that okay, in Google Sheets, dates are usually aligned towards the left, and because this is not interpreted as a date, it is aligned towards the left, and that is why you need to check here. Sometimes maybe in your laptop or maybe in your computer, wherever you're working with me, you might be able to follow date, month, and year format. There's DD, MM and YYY format. But for me, it's just not the case, so I will not be executing that. So this is one that you need to be very, very careful with. And when I say making the sheets dynamic, this is exactly what I mean. So I don't need to actually go inside a particular formula and change whatever inputs I've given inside the formula to get something. All I have to do is actually change date here if I want. So if I want, let's say 2020, I can just click here, and you can see all the information is being provided to me automatically. I don't need to worry of what exactly is happening, right? So This is known as making your sheet very dynamic, where some of the cells are dependent on one particular cell where you actually write the input, and all I have to do is change the date here instead of the formula which is written here. Now right now it might sound a little stupid to you, reason being we are using only one particular company, but let's say I'm using TCS as well. I'm going to write Google Finance and give the ticker, and then I want the closing price. Oh, sorry, I want the closing price, and I want starting date as this, closing date as this, and I also want daily frequency. Here I go. Now if I'm going to click on this and change this to, let's say, 22, you can see both the sheets, or let's say both the informations, and for Reliance as well as TCS, are getting updated automatically. I don't have to do it by myself by getting inside the code and doing it. Right? This is known as making a sheet dynamic. And in the entire project, what we need to essentially do is to get information of 750 companies together. And we'll be doing it in a way that it eases the entire process for you. You don't have to do everything manually and write the code of Google Finance again and again. I will teach you a way in which you will be able to just copy it and paste it somewhere so that all your work is being done. All you have to do is just write the code once and just get done with it. In the entire process, we'll be learning how we can use if statements, odd function, even function, as well as lookup functions, VLOOKUP functions, as well as HLOOKUP functions. At the same time, we'll also learn a very important technique in Excel. It's not a function, but it's a technique, which is anchoring. Now, most of the people who actually teach you Excel, they might use some other terminology for that. But once I get to the particular lecture and I use it, then you will be able to relate more if you know about the particular concept or not. Right? So for this lecture, that would be it. Although if you want more codes, you can always go here and then you can search for Google Finance codes. And the first link will actually be able to help you a lot of what exactly you can give as inputs. So this is the syntax, this is the example, and these are the attributes that you can ask. I could have asked price, price open, high, low, volume, market cap rate, time, and whatnot. I can ask for all of these. Now, all of these might not be applicable for the particular stock that you are into right now. It depends. If the Google Finance is having the information related to that particular stock that you want, then it will give it to you. If not, then it won't be possible. And this is for real-time data. And then this is for historical data, which we are focusing on. If we're going to click on all, it will give you open, close, high, low, and volume as well. Our focus will be the closing price for this particular lecture, right? And then attribute others are, for mutual funds, close yes, date, return. You can see all of them. And then starting date, ending date, and then interval. It can be daily or weekly, and it can also be given as 1 and 7. So you can go ahead and you can use some of these to actually get information from Google itself. It will help you out of what codes you can write for your Google Finance. That would be it. For your homework, I want you to actually search for nsc.jbma. I want you to run the Google Finance code on this particular ticker from 2021 and 2024. I want this to be 1st of Jan and this to be 31st of March. 31st of March. I want you to actually run the code from 1st Jan 2021 till 31st March 2024. And please get back to me if you have any doubts. You can comment down below and I'll be able to help you out as much as possible. You have the contact details and you can reach out to me. That would be it for this lecture. Happy learning. Keep on trying new things.